Ukraine video shows destruction of Russia's $15 million thermobaric flamethrower. Ukraine has destroyed one of Russia's thermobaric flamethrowers, which range in price from $6.5 to $15 million, according to a video shared on Telegram by the 3rd Assault Brigade. Members of FATM unit in the 3rd Assault Brigade destroyed a Russian TOS-1 Solntsepyok heavy flamethrower system, according to the Ukrainian military publication Militarny. The Post described Ukraine's attack as, "Shooting is fiercer than all action shooters." Militarny reported that the damage to the flamethrower was likely the result of a previous FPV drone hit, and the unit also destroyed numerous Russian vehicles, including trucks transporting personnel and military equipment in UAZ vehicles. Ukraine's destruction of one of the TOS-1 Solntsepyoks is significant because defense and military technology expert David Hambling previously told Newsweek that these thermobaric flamethrowers are a high priority item for the Russian military, but Moscow only has a small number of them. The 3rd Assault Brigade also previously destroyed a Solntsepyok in Kharkiv, in northeast Ukraine, in September and hit it with an FPV drone. The TOS-1 Solntsepyok, also known as Scorching Sunlight, a rare and expensive thermobaric flamethrower that Russia has been using since the outset of the war, which functions as a multiple launch rocket system and has the ability to fire several dozen thermobaric rockets. Thermobaric weapons are those that inflict damage by maximizing the shock wave and overpressure associated with an explosion. And the pressure produced from using these weapons often causes building collapses, ruptured organs, and more, according to the Lieber Institute at West Point. Thermobaric flamethrowers are those that fire incendiary ammunition, and their development dates back to the USSR in the 1970s, according to the National Defense University of Ukraine. Thermobaric weapons were also used by U.S. forces in the 1960s. The TOS-1 has a range of 5.6 miles, can be ready to fire within 90 seconds, and is used to create incendiary and blast effects that last longer than conventional explosives. Russia has been using the TOS-1 Solntsepyok to attack light armored vehicles, manpower, and to destroy fortifications, and they have been firing 220mm thermobaric shells. Ukraine has taken out several Russian thermobaric flamethrowers, including another TOS-1A system in August in the southern Ukrainian Zaporizhzhia region. In this instance, the Security Service of Ukraine, also known as the Sluzhba Bezpeki Ukraini, SBU, used an FPV drone to attack the TOS-1A system. Ukraine's SBU has previously described the TOS-1 Solntsepyok as the pride of the Russian military complex and a rare target at the front. On the other hand, the Russian military lost 1,520 troops, 11 tanks, and 98 vehicles within the space of 24 hours, according to Ukrainian figures. In a post on X, on Friday, Ukraine's Ministry of Defense said 20 artillery systems, 34 drones, and 2 air defense systems were destroyed over the same period. The latest report, if accurate, would bring Moscow's combined loss of troops tanks and vehicles to 717,590, 9,330, and 48,135 respectively. Russia does not routinely publicize its military losses, and analysts are skeptical of reports from both sides. The day prior, Kyiv said Russian forces had lost 194 vehicles and 64 artillery systems between November 13th and 14th. The Defense Ministry reported Thursday that Moscow lost 124 fuel tanks, 51 armored fighting vehicles, and 19 tanks, marking the highest number of vehicle losses for Russia in the past month of fighting. On Monday, Russian troops reportedly suffered their highest number of casualties in a single day since the 2022 invasion of Ukraine. Moscow lost 1,950 troops on November 11th, Ukraine's armed forces said. This broke a grim record set only on day earlier on Sunday, when Kyiv reported 1,770 casualties. Prior to this, the previously held record was in mid-May, when it was reported that Moscow sustained 1,740 casualties in a single day. Russian forces have reportedly been bolstered by an estimated 12,000 troops from North Korea. Last week, Russia finalized its ratification of a defense treaty following its signing by Russian President Vladimir Putin and North Korean leader Kim Jong-un in June. It marks the largest defense agreement between the two nations since the Cold War. The treaty will officially take effect upon the exchange of ratification documents, according to North Korea's state-run Korean Central News Agency, KCNA. Geopolitical analyst Sang Hun Seok, Indo-Pacific Visiting Fellow at London's Royal United Services Institute, RUSI, recently told Newsweek that the country's leader, Kim Jong-un, could use its assistance as leverage to pursue provocations in East Asia. North Korea now has greater leverage in seeking Russian support should it decide to make a serious armed provocation in the region, Sang Hun said. Pyongyang might become even more adventurous, expecting that Russian support would prevent a strong response from both Seoul and Washington. Separately, a Kremlin decree introduced Wednesday will see payments to injured troops reduced, as Russia grapples with rising war costs and significant loss of personnel. The decree, signed by Russian President Vladimir Putin, limits medical payouts of 3 million rubles, $30,000, to those who suffer severe injuries in combat, whereas previously this was available to any wounded fighter.